Ben Menashe, the president of National Council of Jewish Women, can't be here in person. She's actually in Israel with her kids for the Yom Tovim, and she has sent a pre-recorded message for us. And Joe, if you could play that for us, please.
Good evening. I'm Linda Ben Menashe, President of the National Council of Jewish Women of Australia. I look like this because I'm sitting here at Enot Tzukim, right near Masada, near the Dead Sea. We are in the land of our indigenous people, the Jewish people, the land of Israel. It is approaching October 7. I am very sorry not to be with you in Australia for this very important webinar where you will be hearing the voices of Israeli women speaking about, reflecting on how October 7 changed them. But I am here with our people, and I wish you a rewarding and uplifting evening listening to these incredible women. And I hand over to my Vice President, Liora Miller.
Thank you, Linda, and thank you to everyone for being here. I want to begin by saying how grateful I am to our 4 panelists for their courage and willingness to share their stories. We plan to run this for an hour, but to really honour their stories, we may run a little bit longer, and I do hope you're able to stay with us. We will have time after the interviews for audience questions. Please use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen and put the panelist's name first in the question. So we'll begin with personal accounts of survival and loss, and then move to the fight for Israel's story in the global arena. Mazal. Your parents immigrated from Ethiopia in 1984, and you were born in the 1990s. You and your friends, Danielle and Yochai, bought tickets to the Nova Festival 3 months earlier. You told me it was your place to escape, a place of pure love where no one judged you. Take us to that morning. The music stopped at 6:30 a.m. What did you see, and when did you realise that you were in danger?
So hi everyone, and thank you so much for being here. Like you said, was our place to be in free and happy together and without judgment. This is the most important because it was so many different of kind of people. The night was amazing, and I was there with 2 friends, Daniel Cohen and Yochai Ben Zcharia. And in the morning when all the rackets start, I was like, okay, it's only rackets because I live in this area and you get used to it. But with the time, the security guys start to come to us and tell us like, hurry up and go. And the moment we take our stuff, we go with the car trying to get to the road, to the hell road. Everyone knows this road. We didn't succeed to go up on the road. We stuck before that with the traffic because it was the big traffic jam. And that point, it was around 7 in the morning that we start to hear gunshot that come from a direction of Village Reim. And still then, I I don't know, like in panic too much. I saw policemen. I said, oh my God, like that was in the Nova. And we have faith that they're going to control of that. But with the time, we get it that they don't succeed, and is only worse and worse all the amount of the bullets.
So at one point you're escaping, and you were struck on the head as you were running, and you passed out. And then you woke up and you looked around you, and there were the bodies of your friends, and you said you pretended to be dead, like it was an order from God. Tell me about what happened there and how you had the strength or the mindset to be able to do that.
Wow, it was so crazy that day that you don't do anything with the conscience. Like I only act and act and escape, and I don't have time to think like that. And what's happened is when we was hiding on that line of trees was tied to the road, and the terrorists found us, and they hit me with the rifle to my head. and I plain dead on the floor. And like you said, it was order from God. I cannot explain, because I felt that they touched my legs, put something heavy on my legs, and after time I get it that is ropes or something. And another terrorist come and they talk with each other. All this time I'm playing dead, and one of them come close to me, touch my face to look at me, I guess. And they let go me like that and keep going to kill another person. And I was with God, like, this is really happening. Terrorist was here. This is not real. Like, I don't know. This is not real. And I don't really have time to think, and I lose my conscience. But I wake up after 2 hours, and the first thing that I do is call my friend Danielle. And I call her, but she don't answer me. And get up my head, and I saw she was dead. I looked to the right side, and I saw Yochai next to me also dead. And I stayed there, came back with my face to the ground, said to God, I don't know what's going on. Just please make it stop. I wake up to the same noises of bullets, then on the road. And all the place there is very open. All the trees is not really something that can cover you. So you know that you cannot move too much, because they keep going shooting to that bushes. So you land scared to move, and I make some deal with God. This is my safe place. You send someone to take me like that. And I wait there some hours. And the terrorists, they also burn on this line of trees. And I found myself that everything is fire around me. It's crazy. It's like a movie, I swear. And the moment I felt it's about to touch me, it's reached to a point that it scared me more from dying, from what's going on the road. So I, again, make some deal with God. I'd say, God, if I need to die, I get a shot, but I'm not let the fire touch me like that. So I run to the road. We notice that we have terrorists, and in that moment, I don't care. And I went to one of the abandoned car. It was luck and God that it was open. And I went inside to the back seat on the floor, trying to make me look like a pillow, tiny as I can, where you put the legs, on the floor, tied to the clothes, to the door. Tiny as I can was their blanket. I cover myself, and then I get it that maybe the terrorists see me and they come to me. The first minute is every time is different level of hell and scared and I don't know what. And I was there 2 hours in that car when around me I hear everything blow up and the gunshot that don't stop for hours until 3 afternoon. Like the terrorists reached us at 9 in the morning. I ran from the fire in 12 and 3 afternoon. Some angel that who like me was in the party. Before he risked himself, he take me with him. And my friends, they found after a week, like I said, the fire reached to them. So it took a week to recognize them. And like them, there was so many bodies in this area. So it took a week, and it was the hard week on my life that I need to let the families know. And you feel like you kill them slowly. This is how I felt, because they was begging me to give them a hope, and maybe because I hurt, and maybe after I pass out, and maybe after I escape, they go or kidnapped. And I was so sure that they are dead, because the terrorists don't, I was sure I never see a dead person. And I didn't have to look them one time, another time, like 2 times to know. So, and after a week, we get a call. And since then, we're fighting. I need to fight. I need to come to Reim all the time. I need to go to delegation and explain the world about the image about Israel, about what's going on, about our fighting is against a group of psycho people. It's not about land. It's not about Islam. It's not about Palestinians. And 2 years, and we're still in the same position. Like, so I'm in a loop that never ends. I don't know what's going on. So.
And you mentioned to me Bar Kupperstein, who was one of the security guards at the Nova Festival. He helped you at one stage to try to get to safety. And tell us what happened with him.
Yeah, when in that part of the road where Bar Kupperstein, many people know the video. They put their block the policemen. They're trying to hold all the terrorists, but the terrorists reached to there. So when I ran to the road, I found some policemen and I hide behind one of them. And Bar Kupperstein also was there. And the policemen that was there, they succeed to hold many terrorists and they succeed to kill many terrorists. But the amount of the terrorists, it was so big that they cannot do everything alone. So they reach to them and they kill most of them, of the policemen. And Bar Kupperstein, he's still hosted in Gaza. And he only was security guy, not policemen, not soldiers, only security guy that come to work in the Nova. And he found himself fighting in the morning and trying to help our people to escape until they reach to him and they take him to hostage, and we don't know what's going on with him. And another person that I know that still in hostage is the one girl that we have there in Bar Haiman. And in Bar Haiman, she was friend of my friend, and I remember her in the morning that she come to our tent to say hello to her. And I remember her with the blonde, so jumpy. She was like that and so happy. And they kill her. We don't know if in this seat or in Gaza, but she dead and she's still in Gaza, her body. All the time I open the news and I see her mother begging to please, only body. I want my body of my, I want go to the cemetery. I don't have, we don't know what's going on. In 2 years and the body is still there. This is the reality that we don't, I don't know what's going on. And
With having experienced all that death, particularly of your close friends, Danielle and Yochai, can you share with us, how does it feel? How did it feel to have survived all that?
wow, this is the hard part of all of that. To know that you come with 2 friends, but you go out alone. And I remember that when I was in the safe place, it was meaning spot with ambulance and like that, and the person that rescued me put me there, and the soldier come to me, check my head and put something on my hand, and he asked me if I was alone or, and then I get it that I'm in safe place, but I'm alone, like they're still there. And I get it that I go out from hell and we have so many people there. And the brain, I don't know to explain, because it's very hard. It's very hard. You cannot really feel good to keep going. I cannot feel free to keep going, to be happy when I know that my families of 2 of my friends that was with me still crying at home and still don't understand what's going on. And I feel like I'm the memorial of them. Like every time that they see me, I'm, your son dead, your daughter dead. So if they see me happy, it's like to put some soul in there, like to hurt them. And I really trying to process this thing with my therapist, but it's very, because I know that it's not my fault. But with the same time, it's there, because why only me? I ask you, I need
Yeah,
to
you
laugh.
answered.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yes. No.
Look, thank you so much for sharing that terrible, terrible time with us. The depth of the trauma that you've experienced clearly is current for you. And yes, it's poignant, and I think everybody here can feel it the way that you've told your story. I'd now like to turn to Sally, whose experience as a Druze Israeli brings another layer to this story about identity, belonging, and the impact of even more recent violence. Sally, many in our audience may not be familiar with the Druze community. Can you share with us what it means to be a Druze in Israel?
So, hello everyone. My name is Sally. I am an Israeli Druze. I'm a medical student as well. And basically, the Druze are a small religious and ethnic minority that originated in the Middle East over 1,000 years ago. Our faith is rooted in monotheism with values of loyalty, dignity, and truth. So we live mainly in Israel, Syria, and Lebanon. In Israel specifically, the Druze community has a unique bond with the state. Unlike other minorities, we serve in the army, we serve in public service. So our loyalty is deep. Israel is our home, and defending it is part of our identity. But at the same time, we are a tight-knit community, so we preserve our language, culture, and traditions. For me personally, being Druze in Israel means living with, let's say, double responsibility. First, to serve my country proudly, as I do, and second, to protect the legacy of my people. So it means carrying both pride in our contribution to Israel and pain for our brothers and sisters across the border who are suffering right now.
On October the 6th, you got engaged. And the next day, October 7, your fiance was called to the army. Tell us what that was like for you.
So October 6th was one of the happiest days of my life. I got engaged, or let's say it was the final engagement ceremony in the Druze traditions. So we basically celebrated love, family, and a new future together. But within hours, everything changed. We woke up on that Saturday, October 7th. My fiance was called to go to the army like so many others. I woke up that day checking the news, and I see all the videos. I was like horrified. No, don't go. It was so overwhelming. Suddenly our celebration turned into fear. I was proud of him that he went to protect our country like we always do, but I was also terrified because nothing was clear at the moment. There were still terrorists hiding in the areas near Gaza, as Mazal mentioned. And every time he didn't answer the phone, 1,000 thoughts rushed into my head, like, what if something happened? What if he never came back? And every single day there was a soldier who died, unfortunately. So it was the the hardest days of my life when he was in the army. So that experience actually taught me something about life in Israel, that our personal joys are always tied with national struggles. So celebration and answer are lived side by side, and that's the reality that we live here in Israel. But it also showed me the resilience and the unity of the Israeli people because we all stood up together. There was a lot of, national conflicts that we fight with one another. But 7th of October was something that actually showed me that when it hits home, we all stand together.
Then in July this year, your family in Syria suffered a horrific massacre at the hands of extremists. Tell us how that has affected your family in Israel.
On July 15th, the Druze community in Syria actually faced the 7th of October. Exactly the same thing. Terrorists went into the homes of the Druze people, the Druze minority in Syria. They killed everyone just because he's Druze. They kidnapped women. They tortured elders and babies. So everything, all the videos we saw on the 15th of July, it was exactly like the 7th of October. So my grandmother is originally from Syria. She received a phone call from her cousin. In the background, we could hear gunshots, and her cousin pleaded for help. She was like, "Aunt, please help me. They are here." And then the line went dead. We never heard from her again. Unfortunately, 2 days later, the news reported that about 20 members of my grandmother's family, extended family, had been executed because of the clashes, the electricity cutoffs, and the chaos that was there. We had no way to reach anyone, and basically no way to confirm who survived and who didn't. So my grandma, since then, she actually got sick, and she's always, thinking about her extended family. But for my family in Israel, this was obviously devastating. We felt powerless, torn between the safety we have here and the tragedy our relative face there. It was an ethnic cleansing, an attempt to erase a peaceful community. So if they did the same thing there, they will do the same thing here to us as well. And they did, like the 7th of October, but it might be happen again. But it deepened my understanding of what it means to be Druze, that we are not just Israelis, we are part of a global community that suffers when extremists attack us, and we carry their pain in our hearts every day. So yeah, we're still fighting, and actually a lot of Druze from Syria are starting to learn Hebrew because Israel is the only state in the Middle East that actually values life and the right to live, unlike other countries here that kill you just because of your identity.
And Israel made the decision to go in and help the Druze in Syria.
Yeah, actually, yes, I think that it was more like a moral responsibility to Israel because, again, it is the only state here in the Middle East that actually have morals, to fight for other, to treat patients who need help, to save the minorities, because we're actually not fighting people, but we are fighting an ideology. So if Israel wasn't existed here in the Middle East, I think that all the minorities would be dead or erased from the planet. So yeah, it's a moral responsibility. Yeah.
You told me that you've faced accusations of betraying other Arabs because you speak out for Israel. Tell us what that's been like.
So on the 7th of October, when I saw all the horrific videos of what actually happened there, and my fiance was called to go to the army, and rockets were thrown at us from Lebanon as well, I defended Israel, as I always do. But on the 7th of October, again, I realized that I'm not fighting people, I'm not hating anyone, I'm just fighting an extremist ideology. So it basically was on social media, on my social media accounts. I was a dental student back then, and I started to defend Israel and condemn the attacks that happened. And some students who were, studying with me back then, unfollowed me or blocked me or accused me of betrayal. For them, it was like speaking for Israel was seen as turning against Arabs. That was really painful, but for me, it was also a moment of clarity that supporting Israel does not mean I hate others. It means that I reject terrorism and violence, especially that we are facing the same thing now in Syria. It means that I stand with life, with dignity, and with justice. I've learned that being authentic comes with a price. My voice may cost me friendship, but it also gives me, let's say, peace of mind because I know I'm speaking the truth. And for me, silence in the face of terror and extremists would be the real betrayal. To be silent, it would be the real betrayal of the innocent lives, betrayal of speaking the truth, and betrayal of living in peace. So yeah, it was really painful, but I know it would cost me a lot and cost me time, friendship, and I don't mind because I know I'm speaking the truth to the world.
And now that you've transferred from a dental student to become a medical student, you've found new friends in your medical faculty.
Yes. Yes.
Mazal and Sally, you've shown us that the pain of the pain of survival and loss, but the struggle doesn't end there. Every day, Israelis are fighting another war, and that's the war of the narratives. Online, in the media, and in diplomacy, the truth of October 7 is contested, and that brings us to Julnar and Hallel. Julnar, you grew up in the northern Druze village of Yarka, but on the October 7th, you were in Jerusalem, far away from home. What was that day like for you?
So back in that day, it was 2 years ago, I was living in Jerusalem. And I remember I was sleeping in the morning. It was 6 a.m. And then suddenly I start hearing it.
We'll just wait a moment. She's obviously got some tech difficulties. Maybe while Julnar is trying to work out her tech issues, we'll move to Hallel. So Hallel, you've been an activist for more than 12 years, and indeed you were arrested in 2013 and your actions led to the overturning of a law. How did October 7 change the focus of your work?
Sorry, I'm here. Okay.
Let's continue with Julnar.
Okay, Julnar.
Okay, she's back. Yeah.
All right. Julnar, you back there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
again,
you were telling us about being in Jerusalem when the rockets start on October 7.
yeah, it was in the morning, very early. I woke up because of the sirens, but it was like usual for us as Israelis hearing sirens from time to time. And then I got back to sleep, and then there were another siren and another siren. And I start hearing the neighbors talking. So I get outside and I understood that there's a war happening. There's a terror attack on Israel. We went together into the shelter. And then I remember one of my neighbors asked me to come to her apartment with her daughter because I was alone in my apartment. I had two other Jewish girls living with me. It was on Shabbat, so they were with their families. So my neighbor asked me to join her and her daughter. We stayed there, and she even asked me, please, could you speak Arabic if one of the terrorists come to here and tell them that we are Arabs? I told her, okay, I will do that. I was so brave. But then afterwards, after we saw the videos and heard the stories, those terrorists just killed every Israeli, no matter if you are Jew or Arab. They were killing Arabs. They kidnapped also Arabs. The El Zayadna family. They kidnapped the father, the daughter, also two brothers. There were a woman wearing a hijab sitting next to her husband in the car, and she told the terrorist, "Look at me. I am wearing a hijab. I am like you." Still, they killed her because for them, Arabs in Israel, they are the dogs of the Jews. So afterwards, after I thought about this strategy, it won't help. Yeah, so then my brother and my father came from the north, from Yerka village. They wanted to come to take me home because they were so afraid and anxious. Again, they weren't anxious because like they after they saw the videos of the kidnapping, they were kidnapping the girls and the really tough videos. They've been afraid maybe some terrorist could come into Israel and take me also to Gaza. So I came back to Yerka, and then after a week, I was supposed to get back to work at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, so I got back to Jerusalem.
So that's a good time to talk about your work. So you work in the Foreign Ministry's Arabic Digital Department. What has it been like to represent Israel to Arabic-speaking audiences?
So my job is to do advocacy for Israel, talking about Israel, showing the real life in Israel, how we live together, how we work together, study together, but still we get a lot of anti-Semitic comments. and hate and threats, and especially for a Druze woman who coming from a conservative community, a modest community. I get a lot of comments that my parents don't don't like that at all, because they read the comments, and also sexist comments, chauvinist, mostly from men, underestimating. So yeah, that's how I like to work at the MFA, doing advocacy, speaking about Israel in Arabic, for
Tell us,
the Arab audience.
what are the biggest misconceptions that you hear about Israel from the Arabic-speaking world?
I want to mention also, as Sally said, also, because I do Hasbara in Arabic, students in my university, Arab students, they hate me or block me also, because they accept you. They expect if you are Arab, then all Arabs are the same thing, the same way. But it's not true, and they see Druze as betrayals because they serve in the IDF besides the Jews. Yeah, so what is the biggest misconceptions about Israel? I would like to mention a short story. When I was in a student exchange program in Italy, I remember I was speaking about Israel, and my professor from the UK, in Exeter University, one of the most known universities in the UK, she told me, "So, Julnar, you are saying that Arabic is your first language, so you are Palestinian, you're not Israeli." I was shocked because even my professor don't know that there are Arabs living in Israel besides the Jews. So there's a lot of misconceptions about Israel. They don't know that there are almost 20% of the whole population are Arabs. They have a representation in the Knesset, Arab leaders, Arabs in Israel, students, Arabs in Israel, they get extra time in exams because our mother tongue is Arabic, not Hebrew. Signs on the streets are written in Arabic and in Hebrew. So yeah, basically there's a lot of misconceptions about Israel. They don't know that we live together, we pray together, we work together, we study together.
You've faced threats and hostility online. What keeps you going in the face of that?
I love my work. I love my job. It's almost something that in my veins. I feel like I'm so connected to that. Also because my dream is to be an ambassador and to represent my country one day. And yeah, as I said, I don't imagine myself not doing that. Like I do that daily. I think about that daily. I live it. I live that. It's not just going to work at the MFA and then that's it. I feel like it's something that in me, inside me. So I love my job.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for telling us about your background and your work. I'd like to move now to Hallel. Hallel, you've been an activist for more than 12 years. And in fact, as I've mentioned before, you were even arrested about 12 years ago being an activist. Tell us, how did October 7 change the focus of your work?
Hi, first of all, thanks for having me, guys. And this is such a great group of women, so I'm honored to be part of it. Thank you. I used to be able to make happy content about Israel, right? I used to travel the country and showcase wineries and culture and music and art, and I was very involved in the democracy protest movement here in Tel Aviv, which was the best way to show that this is the only democracy in the Middle East because we can safely and freely protest, right? And all of that flipped very suddenly, very, very suddenly on that day. The network, the WhatsApp networks of tens of thousands of people that was for the protest movement became an organization for bring them home, right? Everything, this whole network that we had built, this infrastructure became this infrastructure for bring them home the second it happened. But I really do miss making happy, beautiful Israeli content. But of course, what I'm needed right now is this. So I'm doing it. But I think I spent 6 months traveling all over the kibbutzim to bear witness, to film, to edit, to show. I've met Mazal a few times through the organization Israel Is. We've done some content, and it's heartbreaking hearing these stories over and over again. But I also know that it's all I can do is help uplift these voices. So I look forward to the day we can make happy content again about this country. But until then, we'll do it.
So tell us, what are your biggest challenges dealing with misinformation and anti-Semitism online?
It's a big question. Well, obviously, we see all this hatred, and a level of it is Jew hatred, is anti-Semitism, right? It's the oldest recorded racism in history, of course. And some of it is just ignorance and negligence, and nobody wants to do due diligence, right? People aren't looking into things. They're not understanding nuance. And I think there's a frustration that comes with that when people are just being sheeple, when you know that they think they're on the right side. Very, very frustrating. The chants, free Palestine, stuff like that, it's very catchy. And when things are minimized so small like that, it loses all nuance to a very, very nuanced situation. That's a cute emoji, thanks. But yeah, and it's very, very frustrating. I think that's one of the biggest issues or struggles within this, is that it's all by emotion, right? They'll see footage out of Gaza and be pulled towards Israel's committing a genocide, instead of doing their own research and looking into what's going on and whose fault it really is, which is, of course, Hamas.
And you've also faced a lot of hostility and pressure online. Tell us how you cope with that.
Yeah, I really, I felt you, Sally, when you were talking about, or no, it wasn't Sally. Sorry, both of you were talking about the hatred you get Jonah said about getting these nasty comments from people. And it's really, I think there was always hate comments online. I always received some, but it's like after the 7th, it's like people's masks went down. They stopped pretending to hide it, kind of, or they stopped pretending it wasn't anti-Semitism. It can get pretty gross. And I do a lot of breathing. I've worked very hard to not immediately respond angrily, right? Because that response will be there forever, live online, and to try to either ignore or respond with kindness. But it's hard, and it affects all of us. It really does.
Thank you so much. Before we move to audience questions, and I just want to encourage you to pop them into the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen, I just want to ask each of you for a final reflection. Mazal, it's really traumatic for you to keep on telling your story. You talk about it, how it feels telling it, and that it's something that you must do. But tell us why you're sharing your story with us today.
Wow. Why is a huge question, because I think the big why is my son, future, reality, safe reality, because they blow up something in my point of view to the world in that day. I was living before, I never was innocent. I know we have terrorists, we have people that hate, racist like that, but okay, if you don't hurt me. And I really believe that this small group, until it's after 7th of October, I saw all the protests and all the support and everything, and I said, like, what's going on? Even they saw all the videos, even they saw, after, I think what really shocked me in the beginning, it was Shani look with the truck when she got inside Gaza, and many civilians around the truck, and one of them, I think he's 17 years old. The one boy spit on her body. And you said, like, oh, this is real. Like, this is, oh my God. Like that close, so many people sick live there. Is not about, like, not land, not Palestinians, not, it's sickness. It's like brainwash. It's people that see body and happy because it's a Jew. Like here in Israel, give me body, go in someone with a truck in a body behind, people saw that and they gonna said, oh my God, this is body, call the police. I saw, but this is the logical, reaction when you see something like that. And they grown up machine, generation after generation. When they bring child to this world, take a soul, pure soul, and destroy everything that we have connect between human and about. They don't know what is love. They only know what is hate. Even now you can see videos of children with all their dream is to be shahid. And this is abuse. And this is the hypocrisy of all the organization. And when I saw women organization don't talk about my girls when they rape her, when they cut their places in the body, when they put stuff in their intimate area in the body, is not only for kill, and they not only come to rape, it's not okay, but it's not some person they have problem, don't succeed to hold your I don't know what, and they have to rape. It's not like they have a plan, they know what they do, they okay with that, and they say that they gonna do again if they have the option. So, and when the time is over, and after 4 months I get it, is never start. Like, we have more and more videos and more protests. And then I saw people very strong sitting in the UN. And then I hear, where are you, organization? Where are you, Black Lives Matter, something like that? I was one of the protests when the policeman killed that black man. And then you scream black for Gaza and I need to die and it's okay. And my friend was gay. Where are you, gays for Gaza? My Danielle was gay. She was got married. She have girlfriend for years. I didn't don't care. And I said, like, you want to help people or you just hate me? I don't know. So if I need to protect myself, and if I hurt that area and people there dying, even the innocent, because if I didn't do that, 1 year, 2 year, they gonna come again and they gonna come to my home. So I don't have a choice. I need to protect myself. I need to protect my son. So I need to fight, and I go and I talking about it, and like, open your eyes, and I see all the surprise of people, and I see someone so very strong in I don't remember what from the states in the United States, and she come and she wasn't shocked that we have many black Jew Ethiopian in Israel. And it's not only like that, we have refugees, we have from Sudan and from Eritrea, and we have Muslim. I was 2 years in Jerusalem, living in Jerusalem in fun. I will go to Shar Shechem and I go buy things with the market of the Arabic, and we was living together. And I really have hope that is only small group. Someday the bosses need to talk and it's gonna be fine. But now I know that group, it's so brainwashed, and they succeed to take so many people to support them, that give them the power to keep going what they do. And because of that, our hostages still there. We don't feel safe. The people there, their people dying because they don't care and they use them, and we need to explain every time. So I talk so much that I forgot your question.
No, I think so. I was asking you why you're sharing your story, and I think you've summarized that. It's the importance of actually telling the truth, because they're being caught up in, like you said, they've been brainwashed and they're being caught up in misinformation and lies. So you're telling the truth, the truth that you live. Thank you. Sally, what do you want people to understand about what it means to be Druze and Israeli?
So I want people to understand that to be Druze and Israeli is to live with loyalty, resilience, and actually complexity. It's really complex because we are a small minority, but we contribute in a huge way to the country's defense, society, and spirit. So our identity is not that simple. It is actually really complex. On one hand, we are loyal to Israel, but on the other hand, we grieve for family in Syria and Lebanon, if we have relatives there. And we face actually a lot of criticism of for those who don't understand us. Exactly like Mazal said, people don't understand you and they criticize because you defend Israel. So, and yet we stand strong. Above all, I want the world to see us as human beings. Actually, there's above 60 million anti-Druze posts on social media since the 15th of July. So imagine that we are facing the same thing as anti-Semitic. The same thing is happening, but anti-Druze. So we're in the same thing together. I want the world to know that there's a peaceful community who never waged wars of conquest, who never killed anyone. Our ideology is really peaceful. So basically, a whole community is being erased just because of their religion and beliefs. No one is speaking out loud. Our women are being raped by terrorists. Our elders are being kidnapped, tortured, as well as our babies. And as a Druze, as an Israeli, we will continue to protect Israel and the dignity and the identity of ourselves for the future. And I want to mention that even if I wasn't Druze, even if I was, we don't serve in the IDF, I will still protect Israel, because I know the truth. And to be really honest, right now I'm so scared that the same thing will happen to us here, because again, I want to, to give this a headline. We are not fighting people, we are fighting an ideology. So fighting is an ideology is so much hard than fighting people. You can fight people in your hands, but fighting an ideology is really hard. So we are in this thing together, and yeah, we will continue to protect the identity and the dignity of ourselves. Thank you.
Thanks, Sally. Julnar, what do you hope the Arabic-speaking world will one day understand about Israel that feels impossible right now?
I hope for the day when there will be peace with other Arab countries in the Middle East, and then they can come by themselves and feel and see, look around and feel the atmosphere here in Israel. And it will be like that because it's a total different reality from what they used to see and to hear online. Yeah, I wish for that day to come, because Israel, they don't teach their children to fight or to death. They want to live in peace. The Jewish people are good people who only want to live in peace. They want to prosper. They send their children to the universities. We don't want war here. We just want to live in peace. The Jewish people just want to live in peace. That's it. Even Israel never started a war from, if we look back in the history. So we want to live here in peace and just to prosper.
Thank you. And Hillel, if you could leave our audience with one call to action in this narrative war, what would it be?
Such a good question. I really draw strength from the fact that the Jewish people have always been outnumbered, right? The odds have always been against us, and Am Yisrael still chai, right? So I think if I could leave you with one call to action, it would be to let that empower you, let that fuel you. Engage in these hard conversations with your communities, with people that might not agree with you. Do the dialogue, do it. Because each one of you is like a micro influencer, if you want to think about it that way, in real life in your communities. And if everyone's doing those hard talks, those hard conversations, we can be okay. We can do it. We can fight this misinformation if everyone joins the team. And it doesn't have to be online.
Thank you. That's so important that everybody has it. Everybody's an advocate, aren't they? You don't have to have 1 million followers. You don't have to have a large audience. It's literally talking with your neighbor. It's talking with your colleague at work. It's just
be uncomfortable. Do the uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah,
Do
it's
it.
just taking the opportunity to have the conversation. And
Yeah.
often advocacy is really just about one conversation at a time. Thank you so much, Hallel.
Thank you.
We've had a number of questions come in, so I'd like to turn to those. So I'll just say who the question is towards, and if Joe, you can spotlight them after that. To Sally, how do we help the world understand that Israel is not an apartheid state?
So first off, I think that showing the reality is very important. Showing the coexistence between Arabs and Jews is also very important. I know that there's a lot of expeditions that we go on to make a peaceful debate with the university students. We talk, we say like, hey, I'm Arab, I speak Arabic, but we live with the Jews and we are happy. We take our rights. We live happily, you know. So they were like shocked, like, how do you speak Arabic? Exactly like Jilnar mentioned before, that you speak Arabic, you must be Palestinian. And no, it's not like that. We have coexistence, but we need to show the word. And there's a lack of the Arab voice internationally, you know. People in here in Israel, let's say, are a bit afraid to talk about Israel because of the traditions or the things that they have in their family. They have family in Gaza, they have family in Ramallah maybe, so they don't talk about Israel because of their relatives that they are living there, and that would be again a betrayal of for their family. But taking the quality of people who would actually speak up and say, hey, I'm an Arab, I speak Arabic, but I live in Israel. I am an Israeli. I have an Israeli passport. I have an Israeli ID card. And I have Jewish friends, and we live here peacefully. And that's the main, let's say, thing that can actually show the world that we are not an apartheid state, because the world thinks that Jewish control everything here, and the Arabs are, sit and be quiet. But we have seats in the Knesset, we have our own villages, we have our own towns, and that's the thing that the world should be seen actually and heard of. Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is really to all of you. What can we, the silent majority of Australians, do to make change, especially in Australian attitudes? So maybe this is for Hallel or Julnar, who are sort of the online warriors. What can we do in Australia? There are so many people who are silent here, who are not standing up for Western values. What do you think can be done to change that attitude?
I would say that maybe sending people like me to Australian audience, talking about Israel, to be an example for us who in Israel. So I think it's a very, it could be a great example, people seeing me or hearing my story, not just my story, also Sally's story. So maybe this could change a little bit. Maybe this could interest them and hear the complexity here in Israel. I won't say that here in Israel everything is perfect, everything is fine. No, there is a complex here in Israel, but still it's far away from what they tend to hear and to listen and to see. So I would think maybe seeing or getting exposed to me and to my community, to the Druze community, knowing about the Druze community, maybe, for example, because knowing that there in Israel there are other communities, just not Jews or Arabs. I always say that I am Israeli, but I'm not a Jew. I am Arab, but not Muslim. I'm Druze. So Israel actually is a melting pot of communities, of cultures, of religions. I would say to get more exposed or listen carefully to us, to these minorities who are living in Israel.
Hillel, did
Exactly
you want
that.
to add something? Yeah.
I just to back that up, like exactly that. I love when she said melting pot, because we're a wacky Crayola box. And I think when people have firsthand experience getting to know someone like Junra, like Sally, like Mazal, like me, if you bring in someone like one of each Crayola crayon, right? So people need to understand that we're a melting pot. So when you have a firsthand experience, then it's real to you, right? That's how human empathy works. So really just backing that up and encouraging you all, as I said before, to have the hard conversations.
Yeah, because again, I also want to mention, even the Arab networks, you will never see an Arab network talking about Israel, about the coexistence here in Israel. All the Arab media, they are anti-Israel. So they see only one side of the story. They don't see the whole side of the story.
Yeah. So another question is, what can Jewish women in the diaspora do for brave and wonderful Jewish women like you in Israel? What can we do for you, I guess, is the question.
To share,
You're
I
fighting
think.
the
Share
fight.
everyone's stories.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's to
Share
it's to-
stories. Mazel has a million videos telling about her awful experience. Share it. Send it to people. You know, like it's uplift these voices. I'll say again, you know.
Mazal, you were starting to talk?
Yeah, גם, like she said, to share, stop to ignore the fact, like, אני יודעת, in Hebrew, half in Hebrew, half in English.
Actually.
I know that a lot of organization of women don't really understand what's happened to our girls here. That is not only war, it's more than that. And I really want to hear them more fighting about our girl, and because the last minutes that they have, it's crazy. I have two stories of two girls, 14 years old, 6 years old, two sister at Rome in Be'eri, I think, or Kfar Aza, and people of Zaka found the two girls in the room, land on the floor with the face on the floor without underwear and like that, full of blood, and blood in the head, in the back after they raped them. And it's only one little bit, and we have so many stories, and the silence of all of the people that can do something, and they have power, is very sad, because you cannot say you are organization for women because you take care about women and ignore what they do to my sister, or one of the girl in Beersheba that her brother need to find video in the telegram day after because he look his sister and they find body of her burn after and with the legs open. And I know it's hard to hear, but this is the fact. Like, we have to fight to everyone be safe. Everyone, you know what is everyone? When I said everyone, also the people in Gaza. I don't have problem and I don't have hate about people who is innocent. About also is not hate. Like I'm sorry about the people that hate me and want to kill me only because I'm here. And I'm afraid because they don't have control about what they do, and they don't know to different good or bad, and they don't see the pain of the other. And so we are living like crazy world that we have to fight to organize everything, and all the people that they have power know to see what is good, what is bad. And if people sitting there in the UN and said to us that we do genocide, he cannot need to be there and sit there and make decision about our future, you know. Yeah.
Thank you. Look, the struggle, the ground war is the struggle, and the narrative war is a huge struggle as well, which the diaspora ostensibly is fighting, and it continues to be an overwhelming one because We're 15 million, and we're relying on the sense of the rest of the world to wake up and see the truth, really. Thank you to all of you for bearing your soul tonight. And I now want to hand over to Jo Silva, the National Council of Jewish Women's Treasurer, to close the event.
Good evening, everyone. I'll just this is interesting, removing spotlights from everybody and adding a spotlight to myself, just a moment. And Mazal.
Yes.
I actually feel incredibly uplifted having listened to you tonight. This is a very heavy topic for all of us, whether we're living in Israel, whether we're in the diaspora. As one of you said earlier, Sally, we're fighting an ideology. You're fighting against Hamas and an Arab ideology, and we're fighting against an ideology around the world for people that, for the life of me, I cannot fathom how they are believing what they are believing. But to see you here, to see you putting your thoughts forward, as you say, Halal, we are micro-influencers. Each and every one of us are an advocator. And you said you used to tell wonderful content about Israel. And you must again, because that's what people must see about us. This is, who said that Jews are wonderful people, that they just want to prosper, Jalna, that Jews just want to prosper and they want to live well and they want to live in peace. That's what people must see about us, because we are multiple identities, whether you're a Druze and an Israeli living in Israel, whether we're a Jew and an Australian living here. We are so much more than the binary, ridiculous, what was it that you said, sheepish? That's the first time I've heard that word. We are so much more than what people have are braying about out there. So I'm uplifted because each of you, especially you, Mazal, no matter obviously how hard this is for you to speak up, you are speaking the truth and you are saying what needs to be said and you are giving us courage, and each and every one of you are providing a light, a shining light, as you lead us forward and you show us how, no matter how hard, we will speak the truth and we will combat this. So thank you very, very much to each of you. And may I say, may you continue to have the courage and the koah, the strength to fight on. And when you need to, please look after yourselves and come back roaring like lions, because that's how you've been tonight. I'd like to let everyone know that we've raised over $2,000 for art therapy for people in the north and south of Israel. So thank you so much for everyone who has come online tonight. We have our next function will be Ruptured, which we'll be doing online, which is Australian Women Reflecting on October 7, and that will be coming up on the 29th of November. And of course, what I must say is Shana Tova Yoter, which means a better year for all of us.
Oh,
and also Ma Hashima Tova for those of you that fast on Yom Kippur. May we all be inscribed in the book of life and we will go forward. Thank you to everyone that's come. May I ask the panelists if you can remain online so we can talk, and can I thank our guests, and we shall see you at the next event. Thank you.
thank you so much.